again. This is a new year, a time for celebrations. Life is meant for celebrations, but celebrations alone, is that life meant for? No. You may get into trouble if you don't make investments. What are investments? Investments are actually something, usually in terms of money we speak of investments. It is something you put aside for a future purpose with the expectations that you get some profits in return, some gains in return. Okay. Some examples for investments are land, gold, bonds, deposits, mutual funds, insurance, house, apartments, flats, etc. It's really important to make valuable investments. But what do you think is the best investment? Is investment merely in terms of money? Can values that we imbibe in our life remain as the best investment? We'll find it out from the lesson The Best Investment I Ever Made by Dr. A.J. Cronin. Archibald Joseph Cronin was a Scottish novelist and physician. He was a doctor. His best novel is The Citadel, which is about a doctor in a Welsh mining village. What has made him successful as a creative classic writer of 20th century? It was his narrative style, the style of telling a story, and also the power of acute observation. He was a doctor, and the way he gives a graphic description about someone. Have you heard of anecdotes? Anecdote is a real life incident turned to a story. This story, The Best Investment I Ever Made, is an anecdote. So, this is an interesting episode in the life of Dr. A.J. Cronin, who is the author of this story. He is the narrator of the story. Let's listen to the story. On the second day out from New York, while making the round of the promenade deck, I suddenly became aware that one of the passengers was watching me closely, following me with his gaze every time I passed. I wanted to rest. To avoid the tedium of casual and importunate shipboard contacts, I gave no sign of having noticed the man. Let's try to understand the passage. Who was watching whom? Yes, one of the passengers was watching Dr. A.J. Cronin. What was A.J. Cronin doing? Dr. A.J. Cronin was making the round of the promenade deck. What does that mean? Yes, he was walking on the public place on the deck. Okay? Deck is the balcony space of the ship. From this, we know he was on a journey from New York and it was the second day. The other passenger was looking at him fixedly, that is, gazing at him. Was A.J. Cronin interested in the man who was watching him so closely? No, he was not at all interested. He did not show any interest at all at that man. Why? What was the reason? He wanted to rest. If you meet a stranger, they will keep on asking questions that is quite annoying, like where are you going, why are you going, like such questions are expected usually from a strange shipboard contact. So he wanted to avoid that boredom. Okay, so he gave no sign at all of having noticed that man. So let's repeat. Why was the narrator not interested in the man who was watching him? The narrator, Dr. A.J. Cronin, wanted to rest. He wished to avoid the boredom and annoyance of other people. So, the narrator was not interested in the man who was watching him. What happened later? Was the other man an an annoying shipboard contact? We'll see in the next video. Okay?